can Pokemon Legends ZA please be good? If you love Pokemon as much as I do, then you also want Legends ZA to succeed. But it is no secret that Game Freak has been throwing in the past few years, or at least not putting in their best effort with their Switch titles. Oh, the good old days. So here are the top 5 features that I think Legends ZA needs to bring out to get me hyped for this game. I just want to feel a little bit more at ease about Pokemon and Game Freak in general, because I really do want to see the Legend series continue. So this is post leak, so I'll add in the information that we got from the leaks into the features that they pertain to, if they pertain at all. For whatever reason, we didn't get much on Pokemon Legends ZA, probably because it's going to come out within the year or so. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We are on the road to 700 subscribers, so if you enjoy this video, please consider commenting, liking, and subscribing. Thank you. So let's begin. Number 1, more. We need more locations, more trainers to battle, and more Pokemon to capture. Here, let me explain each one of those. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, we got one city, which was okay, and there was a few things to do there, but honestly, it was nothing too crazy. Parts of the city were really well done, and other parts felt very bare bones. So I think it's safe to say that we really want more locales. I think Legends Arceus had a lot of regions that you can explore, but I want more cities, more places that you can walk around and interact with people. From the outside looking in, we know already that the game will take place primarily in Lumio City, and it is confirmed to not take place in the past, but in modern day. So I want to know, are we going to see any more cities from the original X and Y games? Obviously, we're not going to get the whole region, but for the love of Arceus, I want to see at least 1 or 2 more cities from the original games. And with more cities, I hope that we get more trainers to battle. I think it's a given because in modern day, people aren't scared of Pokemon like they were in Legends Arceus, but it's Game Freak, and they aren't exactly hitting all of their shots. Also, some people didn't really like the battle system in Legends Arceus, and all I gotta say to those people is, no! The battle system was great, okay? And to be fair, the best part was running around while your Pokemon were battling. So please, Game Freak, do not this up. The battle system is good in Legends Arceus. Please keep it very similar in Legends ZA. We just want to have more Pokemon trainers to battle. And lastly, give us more Pokemon to battle with. One of my major gripes with Legends Arceus was the Pokédex and the Pokemon in it. It was just the Sinnoh Dex again, with little changes and a little bit of new Pokemon. And honestly, I don't mind the Sinnoh Dex, but I have played Generation 4 more than any other Pokemon generation. And on top of that, we had just got Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond a few months before Arceus, which was essentially the exact same Pokédex. Look, I just want more Pokemon, something closer to Scarlet and Violet amount of Pokemon if that's possible. I know that is probably a lot of Pokemon to have in a Legends game, but I'm hoping that we don't just get a copy and paste from the original X and Y's Pokédex. And obviously it's confirmed that Megas are returning, so I'm hoping that we get a good amount of Megas. The leaks essentially did confirm that we will be receiving a Mega Zygarde. I don't know what it looks like. I don't think there's any images out, but if we're getting a Mega Zygarde, what is the potential of getting a Mega Xerneas or Yveltal? So more legendary Megas, kind of like Groudon and Kyogre, would be really cool, but I'm more hoping that my boy Flygon gets a Mega. Honestly, at this point, let's just get all the pseudo legendaries Megas. So maybe Dragonite, that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. So number 1, more locations that can house more trainers and give us more Pokemon that we could battle those trainers in those locations. Moving on. Feature number 2. Okay, so number 2 is, for the love of God, give us walking Pokemon. I felt so bamboozled when I saw the Legends Arceus trailer and Pokemon were walking outside and you see the pro tag throwing their Pokeballs all cool like, just to find out that your Pokemon just stand there or sleep, which is actually pretty cute. It's just weird. Obviously, Pokemon walking animations were already in the game since they were walking in the overworld. I'm genuinely wondering how they couldn't find a way to have the Pokemon walk around and traverse with you. Scarlet and Violet kind of try to fix this by having you send your Pokemon out to murder other Pokemon, but that didn't really feel the same as actually having a Pokemon walking with you. And let's all collectively try to forget Sword and Shield's walking Pokemon animations. That was an abomination. Come on, Game Freak, please give us walking animations like we got in Let's Go. That is best case scenario, but I will accept my Pokemon walking around like they do in the Arceus overworld, but just a little bit closer to me than this. Honestly, I am just tired of hearing about the Switch's limitations. It's so drawn out and such a shit excuse. Jesus, I just really want the Switch 2 out already so we can just stop with it. Due to the Switch's lacking power, we could not make the game run at over 20 FPS. Just stop it, okay? Please. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom figured it out. So Game Freak, figure your stuff out. Feature number three. Number three is difficulty options. I ask for this every single time that we get a new Pokemon game. It cannot be that hard to add difficulty options to your games, Game Freak. So please, here are some options and feel free to use either or on your upcoming games. So I'm assuming you don't want to add difficulty options because you don't want kids to pick the wrong options when they start the game. Sure, have it. So here's what I suggest. Option number one. New Game Plus. Have somebody beat the game, shit, even hide it behind a super boss. But once they've completed the objective, there's a guy in the main city, all Elden Ring round table like. He says stuff like, "Would you like to begin adventure 2?" And you may be asking, what happens to that player's save file, their Pokemon? And the answer is, who cares? It doesn't matter what options you put for that. We will figure it out. Oh, your Pokemon will disappear. Okay, I'll transfer them. Oh, your Pokemon will be locked behind this PC until you reach this location again. Okay, perfect. Like, seriously, who cares? Even giving them the option to use their Pokemon again, it doesn't matter. If somebody is choosing to play in a harder difficulty, chances are they're not gonna go into their PC and use their old Pokemon anyways. That defeats the purpose. My point is that the person that wants a harder difficulty doesn't care about their save file. They want to play in this certain way. And if option one doesn't work, option two is just add a harder difficulty as DLC. Don't make it available at the start. Maybe it takes some time to develop the difficulty option, which, okay, fair, have it. But maybe a few months after launch, you could say, "Hey guys, you remember that game that we sold you a few months ago?" "Yeah." "Well, here you go. A little bit of a higher difficulty option for you." "Oh, sweet." Just try, please, Game Freak. And feel free to get creative with the difficulty options. Maybe you simply up the levels for each of the NPC's Pokemon. Or maybe you change up the Pokédex, giving players fewer Pokemon options that they can catch throughout the game. Or crazy option here, which I doubt you would ever implement, is adding a level cap. Again, at this point, we are fiending for anything. Please, it's just an option. Your game doesn't have to be developed and sent as this difficult. It doesn't have to be Dark Souls, but we want to have the option to make it as grueling as possible for some of us. All right, that's it. Okay, I'm done with that. All right, moving on. Number four are mainline and side story improvements. Okay, let's begin with side missions. Legends Arceus did have some side missions, and some were pretty good. I think the standout for many people was the shiny Ponyta mission, which was really cool. But you also had some stinker side missions.
Land a Pokemon that can use Rock Smash? Is that it? Oh my god. Was that it? That's the whole side mission? Ooh.
My hope is that we continue to get side missions like the shiny Ponyta one, or quests that revolve around original characters from the X and Y game, like Ghost Girl. There's a lot of characters that we could choose and work off of from the original X and Y game. Right now, it's way too early to find out who's going to be returning because we don't know all the locations that we're getting. Because if Lumio City is the only major city in the game, it's going to really limit the amount of characters that we can see from the original game. But I am still hoping for some fun and compelling side missions from this game. I think there's a lot of potential. And now the main story. I personally really enjoyed the Legends Arceus story. I think it is the strongest and best story that we've gotten from Pokemon in their Switch era. But with Legends ZA, there is one huge elephant in the room, and that is that the original X and Y story is not completed. My big hope is that Game Freak completes this story in a favorable and coherent way. Now, I want to preface this as I do think that is what they are doing. Why else would they choose Pokemon Z as the option in the first place? But again, we have been so scarred by Game Freak in the past few years that I can't say for certain that they know how to complete this story. Will AZ be a prominent character in Legends ZA? It sounds like a no-brainer, but can you really say for sure? Will this game be a prequel or a sequel to the original story? And will Team Flare make an appearance at all? I honestly have no idea, but I do hope that Game Freak can give the original X and Y an ending that it can be proud of. So please, please Game Freak, end that story and make us all happy. Number 5, and this final feature, I truly believe every single Pokemon game moving forward needs to have. And I promise you, if Game Freak adds this feature, it will sell this game. And that feature is voice acting, baby! Oh yeah, and if you are a fan of this channel, you might have seen this coming, but we are overdue for voice acting in this series. I mean, even the Zelda series has incorporated some type of voice acting in their game. And at this point, I will take that amount of voice acting in Pokemon, meaning that the whole game doesn't need to have voice acting, just major cutscenes. If you aren't convinced that this feature is sorely missing from this RPG series, I'll have you look at the Persona series, which has some of the best voice acting in all of gaming, in my opinion, especially when it comes to JRPGs. Personally, in most JRPGs, I change the voice acting to Japanese since some of the English dubs can come out really cringy, but not for Persona. They do a masterful job, and I can't help but wish that Game Freak and Pokemon could do something like that. Imagine if we had some of the beautiful pictures that they use in the Persona series with different facial animations and reactions. And I know that's not going to happen with Legends ZA, but I want them to work towards that point. And I think that Legends ZA can have the some type of voice acting, but we got to start somewhere. Eventually I want to get to the point where the entire game is voice acted, but for ZA I'm happy for just major cutscenes. Please, seriously, that is a deal breaker for me. If we don't have voice acting in Pokemon by the Switch 2, I will riot. Whew. Well, I feel a lot better after getting that off my chest. I do feel like if Game Freak doesn't add some of these features, I may just boycott this game. Oh, that's probably a lie. But I'm looking at things very optimistically. They have been working on this game for quite some time, and they even stopped pumping Pokemon games out every year to work on this for longer. So my hopes are high, but at the same time, my expectations are reasonable. Do you guys agree with my features? Let me know. And while you're down there, let me know what features you think that they should add into Pokemon Legends ZA. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Love ya. Bye.